For instance, we've been seeking for happiness in objects or situations or relationships all our life. And at some point it dawns on us that happiness just is not revealed, is not experienced as a result of acquiring any kind of an object. We at some stage we see that clearly, that what we have longed for so deeply all our lives is not going to be delivered by an object, that the love that we have longed for all our lives is not going to be delivered by a relationship. The peace we have longed for is not going to be delivered via a situation. At some stage we see this very clearly. And as a result of this seeing, our investment in objects and relationships and situations diminishes, decreases. Now, that's not the same as saying that we cease relating with objects, people, not at all. We continue to have all kinds of relationships, to be involved more or less actively in the world. All these things continue. But we no longer invest our happiness, our sense of love and peace in them. And that's a radical change. In other words, we no longer give our hearts and our minds to... we no longer place them in an object. Now, we don't replace the conventional objects with a more subtle object called awareness, because actually it's we just no longer invest them in any kind of an object. We don't find a new direction for them, but we could say we give our hearts and our minds towards this, to this reality, to presence. We're slightly objectifying presence by saying so, but that's okay in the context of the conversation. Yes, we give our hearts and our minds to what we truly value the most in our lives, and everything else falls away. We don't need to get rid of it. We don't need to discipline it away. It just falls away. We're no longer invested in it. It just becomes redundant. We don't have to go to war with any of these old appearances when they appear. We're just not invested in them anymore. And sooner or later they begin showing up less and less. And they just leave us in the peace of our true nature. Less and less objects or situations are able to seemingly take us away. Another way we could say that, there is just more and more abidance, unshakable abidance.
And equally what seems to come with that is, as it were, the third stage you were talking about, whereby those apparent objects are, instead of being, as it were, the means to losing yourself, become the means towards remembrance of yourself, as it were, or declarations of yourself, it seems to be. In other words, the telescope is turned upside down in that sense.
Yes. Yes, what was once seen as a potential distraction, an object towards which we give our love and our attention, which seemed to take us away from ourselves. Now, every object or situation, before it tells us anything about an apparent object or world or situation, it first tells us about the light of awareness with which it is known. So everything, all seeming things, first announce the presence of awareness before they tell us anything about a relative object. And everything can be seen in that way. Our experience doesn't insist that we consider all of this separate, distant, outside. It's neutral. It can be seen either way. We are the ones that give value and meaning to our experience. This room does not tell us that it is a room. This room is not saying that it is an object. The world has never stood up and said, I am an object. A tree has never said, I am a tree. A car has never said, I am a car. I'm an object. I'm made out of something dead or inert. I'm distant or separate from you. The world never says these things. Objects never say these things. There's only one thing that says these things. Thought. What does thought know about being a chair? Absolutely nothing. So yes, we're free to see our experience how we like, either to confirm that experience consists of a series of objects, or to see that our experience shines with the light of awareness with which it is known, and ultimately out of which it is made. Both possibilities are equally available in every moment to all beings.
Literally every moment.
Literally every moment. Every moment to literally all beings. The world imposes nothing on us. Absolutely nothing.
Right. In the spirit of not imposing on your time, I will pass on.
Okay, let's have lunchtime. But before